If your ad costs keep climbing while your leads dip, then you need a better approach. My name is AJ. I'm the co-founder and CEO of ProLine, and in this interview, I sit down with Mike Stearns of Ascend Digital and talk about the local community strategies that you can use to win that many companies are too lazy to try. Let's get into it.
We are here at IRE, and I am joined by Mike with Ascend Digital. It's been a minute since we've chatted.
A minute.
It's been a minute.
You don't call, you don't text.
I'm sorry. But we're making up for lost time.
We are. That's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah. So catch me out. What is it? What is the latest with Ascend Digital these days?
We're just doing our best to consistently evolve and deliver the best, experience and results for our clients. Right? There's a lot of things shifting. You're going to hear AEO, GEO, all these things. Don't be the company that overreacts to what's going on. Right? Like, you should be cognizant of changes, but partner with somebody that you trust that can give you good guidance on things you can do within your business to grow it.
I like that. I mean, how much, obviously you don't want to overreact, but some things have changed.
Yeah, for sure.
In the last, I'd say 18 to 24 months, things have shifted. What do you think those big things that have shifted in the last, recent?
It's going to be the things that contractors don't want to hear, and it's like the emphasis on brand and like the EEAT model with Google and how much emphasis they're putting on specifically into brand and signals outside of just your traditional backlinks and content and things like that, right? So some of the tedious stuff that's not as easy to do, they can't just pay your way out of, right? It takes, a methodology and execution of that strategy to do it, and sometimes that gets lost in the sauce because, you guys are running a business, the bullets are flying, so the management side of things that aren't associated with immediate revenue sometimes fall to the wayside. One example of that is like, joining local chambers of commerces, getting those local links. But not only that, like develop a strategy based off of that, right? So you got 10 chambers of commerce, you got 4 sales reps, assign each one of them 2 or 3. Put together a protocol where they're responsible and they have a scorecard that they're accountable to that you guys talk about in your sales meetings and say, hey, this is what we're looking to do. We're looking to add values to other companies within here, within the chambers. From there, what do we want to do? We want to send each other referral relationships, create those win-wins, but then we want to cross-pollinate to our different audiences on social platforms, shoot video content together. We want to write some content for one another to exchange local backlinks. So there's like a multi-tiered approach that's not as easy as paying an agency or paying this person that you have to be aware of, and then you got to be willing to manage and execute.
Yeah, I love that perspective. Can you give a quick rundown for those that don't know Ascend Digital? Give a quick rundown of just like the elevator pitch on what you do. I realize we didn't do that at the beginning. Let's establish that and then circle back because I want to talk more about what you were talking about before.
We help roofing contractors grow their business, right? We do so through custom websites, Google Ads, SEO, and some consulting. How did I do for the elevator pitch?
That was perfect. Perfect elevator pitch. I feel like since we last talked, you may have gone a little bit more into the consulting side. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it's kind of just been a natural evolution, right? Folks reach out and they want help for things, and sometimes it's something where they've already got a provider in place. They're just looking for some, an overview of what's going on, what's happening, how they can make things better. They've got an internal team and things like that. And, it's something that we've always tried to use as a differentiator within our client base is things that we can do to add value outside of us running your ads or doing your SEO. If you come to me like, hey, I'm thinking about running this billboard campaign. What do you think of this concept? Oh, we're going to do park benches. Hey, I have this trade show or home show that I'm doing. These are some concepts that we want to kick around. Kind of being a sounding board with using our experience in the space to help provide them with good information outside of just what we do for them.
Yeah, well, that's phenomenal. So it sounds very collaborative.
Yeah, for sure.
With the clients. And then I love that you're then helping them with these strategies like you're talking about with this Chamber of Commerce's and building that local community. What was I talking about this? There is people are scared about like the PE coming into the space and like taking over. But the thing is, that's an opportunity because they're not investing as much locally. And so it's an opportunity.
Yeah, and where they are, it's more of the direct attribution, LSA, Google Ads, these things. But the easiest opportunity to differentiate yourself is to seize the opportunities that they're not currently pursuing, right? So, I know $30 million companies that aren't doing some of, these practices where it's like you could be a $500,000 owner-operator, get in here, start developing a stronghold within the community in this specific niche, whether it's a chamber of commerce. It could be, you do a scholarship for a local vocational school. You get a backlink from them. It creates a feeder funnel of, potential employees down the road. You're collaborating with people in the community in a meaningful way where other people aren't, and by virtue of that, you can leverage that in your social media, in your content that you should be doing. 2026, shoot more video content, please.
Shoot more video content. Is that in the age of Sora and AI generated video, you feel like video is still king?
I do because Google, if you're using Gemini, they have the Synth IQ where they watermark visibly and invisibly the content that's created. They say it with words. I'd be interested to know how they do that, but I believe it's much more credible on video that they know this was created via AI. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to kind of see where that goes and how they regulate or govern what's okay, what's not. That's a conversation for people much smarter than me. But there's a certain authenticity that comes from somebody creating content themselves. Now, if you can use an 11 Labs or HeyGen or something like that to mass produce that, I don't know. It remains to be seen in a sustainable way where you don't lose that authenticity and it's not abundantly clear that hey, this is generated with AI. But I'll tell you, even with the evolution of things that have made it easier by way of tools for people to generate video content, it is still one of the most undervalued aspects of marketing and branding, for sure. Because look at the search engine result page. You see videos everywhere. You see Facebook community groups. I've been, for 3 years, been talking about the social snowball effect. Establish a dominant stronghold within your local Facebook community groups. Get your employees in there. Get your customers in there. If you look for best roofer and fill in the blank wherever you're at, you're probably seeing a forums part where there's a Reddit, there's a Facebook group where they're on 15 to 20% of the first page of the search engine results, and you're getting that better results sometimes than SEO and better placement just by way of being active in that community.
Yeah. I love all of these strategies that are inherently not very scalable, because the scalable strategies like paid ads, and there's a lot of things that the scalable things you can just dump more money into. So those are the ones that often there's tons of competition on them. Yeah. But these strategies like you're talking about, where it's just it takes real work to get people into these groups. I love that.
It's leg day.
Yeah.
It's leg day for a lot of people, right? Yeah. It's that one thing where most people are going to go do, and if they're doing it, they hate every second of it. They'd much rather go bench or hit the heavy bag or do whatever it is that they enjoy doing. But there's demonstrable benefit to making sure you're hitting legs. You don't want to be that top heavy guy with chicken legs, bro. That's not a good look. You don't want to be that company that's entirely... So my mantra for 2026 for all contractors is have a high floor. We become obsessed with chasing the high ceiling. A high floor is great, and I think that most of you that are watching this can resonate with this, because 2025 was a year where if you had a sustainable pipeline of leads coming in outside of paid ads, so where you weren't having a 30% increase in your cost per acquired customer because you're at the mercy of all these different platforms, you realize the benefit of all the hard work you've put in for the last 2 years to build those ecosystems. If you didn't, you felt the ill effects of not having that high floor. Because all that does is it murders your profitability, right? It all comes down to the net. So if you're paying a higher CPA because there's less jobs and more people are pursuing those opportunities, you're going to have a less profitable year, and a lot of people did less revenue on top of that last year.
Yeah.
Build a high floor.
Build a high floor. I like that approach. I like that mindset. Build a high floor. So that even if you stop all the paid channels, you turn all that off, you still got this floor to fall back on.
Yeah, dude, if you're getting 4 leads a week or 15 leads a week or 40 leads a week from platforms as a result of you having surgical focus and execution on a strategy, whether that's with local schools, it's with the chambers of commerce, it's with Facebook groups, it's with vertically adjacent contractors who, by the way, are selling the same homeowner that you're trying to sell, just maybe at a different time, you're going to have a much better year, especially when, things outside of your control make it more challenging to sell people the products and service that you offer.
Yeah. Because ultimately, you don't control, the pricing of ads on any platform. I mean, there's a lot of elements outside of your control, but you can control going to the Chamber of Commerce or building that stronghold in the local group.
Yeah. You can do that and in a very meaningful way.
This thing's work. Same as legs day.
It's leg day, baby. Hit your fucking legs. Come on.
Now, of course, paid ads is still important on top of that, right? But it's on top of that. But that's where someone might come to you and work with you. It's okay, we're ready to add that on top. How has paid ads shifted over the last say last year, so over 2025, where are we at today on paid ads? What's the ideal channels?
Depends on who you ask. It depends on what your goal is, right? Because I could tell you to put together like, hey, get 10 customer testimonials hyper targeted to these 10 areas where there's, all subdivisions with 18-year-old roofs, and that's going to be a hot spot for you. You're going to be canvassing there, and I'm going to tell you run some meta, run some Facebook and Instagram to get that brand recognition, and then send your canvassers behind it or send somebody out behind it. With Google ads, like local service ads is king, right? And I tell everybody, like, we'll help you get it set up, squared away. Don't pay an agency to manage it. I can teach you in 13 minutes how to manage that on an ongoing basis. You use a company like ProLine to, automate the communication from the LSA leads coming in. Speed to leads super important.
Right.
Google ads is great. There's just going to be more fluidity with it, right? Your cost per lead might be $178. It might be $394 the next month. And that's not necessarily indicative of somebody not doing a good job. You can't control the volume of search, the quality of search, and where people are at in the funnel, right? If they're, top, middle, or bottom of funnel, closer making a buying decision, you can do your best based off of indicators, but at the end of the day, you're making educated decisions based off of data that you have, right? And that's not perfect.
Yeah. Let's go rapid fire. Top 3 things, keeping all that in mind, top 3 things going in 2026 that roofing companies need to pay attention to optimize number of leads, growth.
Do more videos, get video testimonials from your customers, and get involved in your local community and the things that we discussed, and be intentional about it and manage that process. Most people, they don't have SOPs around certain processes, or they do, but they're very poorly managed. Look, at salespeople inherently want to get the most for doing the least. I know a lot of salespeople, right?
Yeah.
So, with that being said, if you make an emphasis in your sales meeting first week of the month and you don't talk about it for 4 months, it's not their fault that they're not doing the shit that you guys talked about. It's your fault as a manager or a leader that you're not showing them the value and consistently leading them down the path that results in the outcome that you want.
Yeah. Well, I like that.
Oh, yeah, and higher ascend. That's number 3. Higher ascend. That's 3B.
100%. 3B.
Shameless self-plug,
We'll call it 4. We can have 4.
It's okay.
There could be 4 steps. Yeah. Four things you need to do. So looking out ahead, 10 years down the road, where do you think all this stuff with AI is going? A lot of people are scared.
Sheesh.
So look at 10 years. Where do you see all this headed?
Dude, I don't have a good answer to that question. I don't know if scared is the right word. I would probably say, we'll go less fear-mongering. I would say concerned.
Okay.
Intrigued.
Intrigued is a good word.
I was listening to a podcast the other day, and it's like Joe Rogan, and he's talking about many. You ever hear the AI rendition of many? He says it on every episode now, right? And it's pretty incredible. Have you heard it?
No.
Wow, dude, you got to cue it up for the people. Drop a link. It's like a soulful rendition of 50 Cent's Many Men song. And it's pretty incredible, right?
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the AI, it doesn't have to take a deep breath. It doesn't have to breathe at all, right? So the notes it can hit, the inflection, and the way it can transition from this point to this point to this point is pretty incredible. Yeah. And the range, right? It's all a bot, right? So there's no limitation. They don't need to rest their vocal cords. But at the same time, you still have people that have their vinyl collections, right? That want to go to a concert. And they don't want to see a bot or a hologram on stage performing. There's an art form to that people really appreciate. What percentage of the population that is remains to be seen. It'll be interesting as AI evolves and people are less turned off by it. I'll use the example. You call, your internet provider, and it's an automated service, which has some sort of AI infused into it. And it's like, hey, press 1 or say, pay my bill. If you'd like to pay your bill, you're like, pay my bill. Like, great, you'd like to add an additional line. And it's like, no, that's not at all what I said. So I think that there's a lot of disdain, especially when it comes to lead intake and processing information, because everyone's kind of had that experience where you're not solving my problem in an efficient way. In fact, you're pissing me off and I'm screaming, put an operator on the phone, right? Yeah. So as these platforms can create a more seamless way for me to get from where I am and the struggles that I'm facing to where I want to be, I think more people, and that's not to say that people aren't okay with it now, but you'll see less people that have that aversion to it. And you can apply that to all the different facets of what AI can do and the trust that people have with it. I think the biggest thing will be making sure people keep it on guardrails, right? AI is great. It's fantastic. It's a great efficiency tool. But, if you're vibe coding something, you should probably have somebody that knows what the fuck they're doing, actually making sure that everything that you're putting out and building is viable, sustainable, and quality, so that if something breaks, you're not vibe coding a solution that doesn't work, and now you're in a situation where, you got your hand caught in the cookie jar.
Yeah. Yep. No, I totally agree. It's interesting. I feel like we're approaching very quickly this sort of post scarcity, we'll just say content generation, and like content, you think of it as like social media content, but also like software is also content. Like you are like putting out little apps and stuff. All of this is content, but we're like in the approaching like post scarcity on this things, being able to just like put out text, email, or video, and just content. But the thing is, not everybody knows or has a clear picture of what they want or what they need.
Yeah.
And so it's like it amplifies sort of just chaos. It's like you end up with like all these videos on social media that are just like, what is going on? It's like, it's not necessarily creating more. I think it's what I'm getting at. From my perspective, it's not necessarily creating more tasteful, useful things.
Yeah.
It's just
Noise.
making it easier for noise to get created.
Yeah. So, like, how do you solve for that in ProLine? Like, there's companies popping up that offer similar service to what you guys do, and I'm sure they've got a lot of noise around it. So, like, how do you guys keep your target market, your customers, laser focused on the value that you guys are providing?
Yeah, I think focus is important in general right now, especially with there's being so many distractions. I think that, are you asking like as a software company, or what do we do on behalf of customers?
On both sides.
On both sides. So on behalf of our users typically don't want to be spending all of their time trying to figure out what's currently going on with technology and AI. They want to focus on roofing. And so we see ourselves as that technology partner that is going out and seeing what's possible today with this technology and then implementing that on an ongoing basis. We don't ever envision getting to a point, and this is kind of like the old software model. It's like you build it, you refine it over a few years, and then you stop. And then once you have it built, you just coast. The business just coasts. For us, like, we're building into our business model this sort of ever-evolving process of improving the technology over time. So we just see ourselves as that long-term, indefinite technology partner that's helping our customers stay ahead of the technology wave. So that's what we provide to the customers. Is like, there's always going to be all these things that are out there that you can try, but are they going to be able to be that partner for you long term? That's going to actually do the work, do the research, and implement on an ongoing basis these new technologies for you, so you're not having to go figure out what the right tool is yourself. So that's one. On the other side is, there is absolutely an expectation that more people have. I wouldn't say a lot of roofers have this today, but in general, people are starting to expect a more tailored, customized experience when they're online, whether that's using software or whether that's on Google or wherever it is. They want to be able to talk to the thing that they're working with and have that thing adapt itself to their needs. And so that's something that we're leaning into and building out slowly over time, is a much higher level of customization in the platform that's conversationally driven. So we're sort of dipping our toes into this now, but in the next 12 to 18 months, it's going to become a much bigger part of our platform, where you're going to be able to talk to the platform and say, hey, I want to change my layout and workflow in the platform to this. Like, I really want to add this new stage in the process for this, and I need some automations for this. And the platform's going to be like, no problem. I'm going to go ahead and put that.
So is it kind of like a notebook LM for your platform, where it's like, hey, this is my process. You have all the contextual knowledge. These are the things I want to accomplish. And then your platform will then engineer the solution and then make it happen?
Yes. So some of it's that. Some of it's like opening up where there's going to be areas of the app where you can just sort of build your own thing. That's something that we want to work towards vision-wise, is like being able to actually build out your own features in the platform and have that ability to expand the platform to your needs and have that be a conversational experience. One of the things with that first, what you just said, in sort of tailoring the platform, like, hey, you have all the context of my business, put together the ideal platform. One of the issues with that is that people don't always know what they want. So they might put in the information, but then they get out a bad result because they're not, the AI is only as good as the information you're telling it. So you think, oh yeah, I want my process to be this, but then that's not the ideal thing, which is why we definitely see long term, like, we're building all these partnerships with different consultants, with different organizations, where they're building out on our platform these pre-built setups of the way they see the ideal roofing company working.
Yeah.
And we want to really support them and give them those conversational tools so it's easy for them. But that's where we see it's not necessarily ideal. The ideal outcome is not necessarily every roofer just chatting with the CRM and have the CRM quickly reorganize itself, because they don't necessarily know what that needs to be. So it's going to amplify problems.
Yeah, and I'm sure there would be unintended consequences where if you change this, that impacts downstream X, Y, or Z, which you didn't account for. And with the context that's not there provided by the roofer, the AI makes changes, and now next thing you know, you've got an entire clusterfuck.
That's really easy, and that happens right now already with technology. Without that, so it's accelerating the ability to mess up the system.
Yeah.
And so we're going to provide that functionality, but at the same time, we're really leaning into the fact that we need people that know what they're doing, that can work with the AI. The AI accelerates all of this, so it empowers people that know what they're doing, and it also empowers people that don't know what they're doing to get to a bad place faster. And so it's all just an accelerator on all. AI in general is just an accelerator on what technology could do. It's like the next iterations making everything happen faster. So you can get to a bad result faster, or you can get to a good result faster. But it's not necessarily going to get you to a good place automatically.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's a false assumption a lot of people have. And I think a lot of people it'll be kind of like the marketing agency conversations of, how they usually start. I worked with these 3 companies, they burned me this, that, the other. You're going to get a lot of that within the AI space for different products and services that are being offered, because, I saw somebody promoting AI-built websites. Like, we could get this live for you, lickety-split. It's like the website that they were broadcasting, that they were pitching people with, was so objectively bad from a technical perspective. Roofers don't know, right? They're not in the lab coding, and there's not an expectation. Same way if you told me to go tear off a roof and install it, I'd be like, bro, you're cooked. I'm not your guy. Right? So knowing that they don't know, it's like, hey, we could sell you this outcome. It's going to be fantastic. And it's like, this thing breaks down and this dude disappears. What happens? Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the case for a lot of, whether it's, CRM, it's, speed to lead platforms, it's fill in the blank. All these people are like, dude, it's so simple. You can just do it for this. We're way less than other companies. Send me $2,000. We get it done for you. Then they get a pile.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I hope I'm wrong. I'm wrong a lot, guys. So
no, it happens today. It's like that it continue happening in the future, but there's always going to be a lot of options, and with AI, there's going to be even more options for a lot of it. Whether it's on the agency side, whether it's on the software side, it's going to create even more optionality. Which there's downsides and benefits to that. I welcome optionality when it comes to roofing contractors that we work with. Is like, I want them to have options. That pushes us to be better, pushes everyone else to be better.
Of course.
So I think it's good for them. I say it is good for us, but it does create confusion.
So is there any red flags that a roofer could look for in a company that's approaching them, leveraging AI to solve X, Y, or Z problem, that they could easily identify that this might not be a good partner for me?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is that AI is only as good as the data that it has access to. And so one of the biggest things that we've seen is that there's all of these AI companies sprouting up that just have like AI calling, or AI estimates, or AI this or that. And it's like, they're standalone tools, and on their own, they don't have enough information to provide a good experience to the end customer. Right. So they're very limited because they're siloed. And yes, they will try to integrate into the CRM platform, but CRMs are not necessarily incentivized to make that data accessible. In fact, there's like some privacy concerns with that. So they have to be really careful about like what kind of data can you allow partners to extract from the system. So it's problematic to the model is problematic. And that's actually originally how ProLine started. Was we were pre-AI, but we were building out automations and then integrating it with other CRMs. But it's a very limited model. It's hard to provide a good experience. So the thing that I believe quite strongly is that ultimately the good CRMs in this space specifically, I can't speak to all verticals, but for roofing in general, all of the good AI solutions will get built into CRM platforms. So it'll become features in the CRM platform. We saw the same thing with estimates a while ago. Like there's all these like standalone estimate companies that are like Sumo Quote, and then Sumo Quote got purchased and everyone else kind of disappeared. It's like you can't really have a good experience with these standalone AI tools. And so, yes, we're going to short term have a few of these standalone companies, but they're either going to get acquired into a CRM or they will disappear as these features just become accessible in the CRM. So like already for ProLine, we have AI virtual receptionists built in. We have AI like ride-along recordings, AI phone recordings, and scoring and coaching. We have AI sales role play. So we're building out all of these, everything that we've seen that's like, yeah, that makes sense. It's a good application of AI. It's valuable. It helps the customer, improves the customer experience. We build it as a feature. And by having it in the CRM, it has access to all the CRM's data automatically right out of the box. So it's just a much more seamless tool that you can rely on, and that is going to be able to provide a better experience.
Makes a lot of sense.
So it's one of those things. It's like not everything has to be in the CRM. Not everything has to be, but AI specifically is something that really should be for most use cases, not all, but for many use cases when it comes to like contractors applying AI, many of these use cases really need to be in the CRM in order to work properly.
It makes sense.
So if I guess you're like, what are the red flags? Red flags is like if a provider is saying that they're going to provide this AI tool and it's going to be disconnected from your CRM and telling you that it's going to be fine, just like let it talk to your customers or whatever the tool is. That's a red flag. Like they either need to be very deeply integrated with your CRM platform, or it don't work. So like it needs that data stream.
Okay. Is there another one?
That's my main one.
That's the main one?
The main one. Oh, well, I will say this though, like when you're thinking about AI, my filter is always, does this improve the customer experience?
Okay.
I think a lot of contractors have it backwards, and they're like, how can I cut costs? How can I get rid of my team? I want to cut down all my expenses with AI. And I think it's the wrong way to look at it. The right way is, how do we provide a better customer experience, and by providing a better customer experience, grow the company? Now, as you grow, you might not need to add on people at the same rate. You're going to start to get a lot of those benefits. But the good way to approach it is first optimizing for the best customer experience, then benefiting from the cost savings, not the other way around. When you try to cut costs first, you're going to undermine your customer experience, and it's going to hurt the company.
Then people hate you.
People hate you.
Yeah, we don't want to be hated.
No. It's not good.
No, it's not great.
Yeah. So, great conversation.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it.
I interviewed you, and then you interviewed me. It was fantastic. We went back and forth.
It's great to see you, brother.
Yeah, great to see you too. Good to catch up.
Yep.